Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jackie Fisher, and I have the pleasure this afternoon of interviewing two well-known gentlemen in our entertainment community in Muskegon County. Jason Bertoya is a Muskegon native, and he's been the managing director of Muskegon Civic Theatre for the last 2 years. Prior to that, he was employed by Every Woman's Place for 17 years. He's also been the director of the musical theater program at Western Michigan Christian High School for the last 13 years. Jason is happy to represent Muskegon Civic Theatre as part of Rotary, the Rotary Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, the Arts and Humanities Festival, and the Muskegon Area Arts and Culture Coalition. Welcome, Jason. In addition, I'd like to introduce you to Kirk Wahamaki, who has been in Muskegon for a long time, not originally a native, I believe from Indiana. Kirk is currently the artistic director for Muskegon Civic Theatre and has been working in the theater since his graduation from Indiana State University. His acting experience is broad. It includes industrial films, television, and on-stage work in many productions, including The Ghost of Christmas Past and A Christmas Carol, 2 parts in productions of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and parts in Fantastics, and an 11-year recurring role in an annual Christmas production created by Penny Notter of St. Mary of the Woods College, and other productions as well. Kirk has last directed Grand Rapids Civic Theater's revival of The Foreigner, and St. Mary of the Woods College, Lincoln Trail College, Community Theater of Terre Haute, and Indiana State University, where some of his many directorial credits include The Foreigner, Into the Woods, Steel Magnolias, Noises Off in 1776. For Civic Theater, his credits include Leaving Iowa, the 25th Annual Putnam Count Spelling Bee, The Miracle Worker, Joseph and the Amazing Technical Dream, Peter Pan, The Actors, The Games Afoot, or Homes for the Holiday, sorry. But a long list of many well-known productions, and some that I am not as familiar with. So good to know about all the background that you have, Kirk. We know your name in this community has become a household name for many people who follow the theater. So thank you both.
Thank you, Jackie.
So I have had the pleasure of talking to you to get to know you both a little bit better and understand the enthusiasm that you bring to this work. Jason, you have been in this position for a couple of years and spoke to us at Rotary around the time that you had just become the executive director. At that time, you were starting a fundraising campaign. Want to tell us about that briefly?
Yeah, a couple years ago, we were starting a fundraising campaign to repair and replace the roof at our scene shop facility, which is located at 1336 Sanford, directly across the street from the Muskegon High School football field, Hackley Stadium. And we actually, with success of a matching program from our friend Bob Skolnick, we were able to put a brand new roof on that building. So not just repair it, but completely replace the roof. That was done last fall. So it was done before the snow flew last winter. It's a beautiful new roof. It was a lot of work. It took about a month for them to complete the work. So we're really happy. Everything inside is safe, dry. There's no longer drips coming from the ceiling. The buckets that were catching those drips are gone. And all of our history is stored in that facility, not just sets and props and costumes, but some of our archival stuff is in that building too. And so we're really happy to have that building safe and weather treated again. Unfortunately, with the windstorms we had this last weekend, the neighboring tree fell on top of the roof and we had that tree removed today. But there doesn't seem to be too much damage to that brand new roof. We have insurance taking a look at everything there. And the tree, like I said, that tree limb was removed just this morning.
Mm-hmm. So in addition to fundraising activities, what else were you hired to do at MCT, and how has that changed in the last 6 to 8 months?
Well, my role at MCT is really the business aspect of everything. You know, I'm the one that goes out in front of the public and has conversations with people about Muskegon Civic Theater. I am the representative at all of our committees and organizations that we belong to, including Rotary. And I also am, in charge of advertising and marketing. Obviously, everything that we had planned as of March, so that would have been our big musical last spring, was canceled. And so we switch focus and try to find ways that we can continue to bring entertainment and theatrical arts to our community. So immediately, Kirk and I start meeting and we start talking about, okay, since we can't do this, what do we do next? And what do we do with all the plans that we had, waiting in the wings? So some of that we're going to carry on into a future season. So Mamma Mia, you'll see pop up again. But really it became, how can we continue what we're doing? How can we continue to support the organization? How can we continue to bring entertainment and our story and stories of our community out to our public?
And Kirk, what had your role been prior to this year, and what's different now?
Well, my role has always been to oversee the artistic qualities of what we do and our education program, and it's changed a lot because of this year and obviously COVID-19. And we've been brainstorming, Jason, myself, and our director of, or our administrator of education, as to how we can still continue to do these things and how we can still continue to serve not only our patrons, but our students, and also those people who love to volunteer here and do so much for us. And we've managed to come up with a number of ideas. First one was Fire Pit Follies. And we performed, I don't know how many times, Jason, but in the fall, we sent out a group of people, actually 12 people, out around the county and even into neighboring counties to give backyard fire pit concerts, all socially distanced and all very entertaining, and we were very pleased to do that. So I can't remember how many, Jason, we did. Was it 40?
No, we did 29 over 4 weeks. So we were 4 weekends. So we were busy. That was most of September and then into the first week of October. And that included one performance in the Hackley Library, which was great. You know, how often do you get to perform in amongst the books in the library? So it was great to partner with our friend Joe Zappacosta and his staff there, to have such a great experience for not just us that were watching in the corners of the library, but for the performers to be able to say, I performed in the library.
Well, our family had the pleasure of attending 2 of them, and different performers at each concert. It was great. It was great idea, a good concept to honor the rules and yet bring entertainment into the community, which was great.
Yep. And that was very important. That was very important to us, that we were able to follow those safety guidelines and keep not just our audience members safe, or so that they felt safe, but also our performers too. And so it was all done very independent. Each performer drove themselves. It was done in a round robin kind of relay race kind of style. So they had limited contact with each other. They carried their own equipment. Everything was wireless and using Bluetooth technology. So there was no setup time. There were no lights and electricity that needed to be run. It was all very self-sufficient, that the actors could run themselves.
Great. And so what other innovations have you done, Kirk? What else have you done this season?
Our next thing that we did was, and we've gotten a lot of these ideas, frankly, not stolen, but shared with us from our partners. We belong to a national organization called the American Association of Community Theaters. And through various methods and stuff, we've learned about these things, what people are trying, what we're trying, and sharing these things. But our next thing was a drive-in live production. And thanks to Max McKee and actually the city of Grand Haven for renting us a stage we were able to set up a drive-in live performance of the Rocky Horror Show on stage in the parking lot of the Mart Dock. And it was great. We had a super job. Jason actually directed it for us. And it was a lot of fun, all socially distanced. Everybody stayed in their cars. And we bought a transmitter so that we could actually transmit the microphones to the car. So you just tuned in on your radio and you got to see this live stage show. And it was very, very good and very successful.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also done the same thing with our education programs. We had backyard learning and small groups in neighborhoods. We would send out our teachers to conduct performing arts classes and performing arts games and stuff. And that went very well too. So we're constantly looking for new ideas to keep people involved and giving people the opportunity. Along with that, our education program is doing a Christmas show that will be a Zoom show. We're getting so used to Zoom things, but those kids who have been rehearsing and stuff will actually get to be able to perform the holiday show that they do every year here live, but they will be doing one now on Zoom. So we keep looking, and we've got a couple more things in the stirring now.
Good.
We're not quite sure how we're going to do it, but we're looking at a Christmas game show that will be available with prizes. So we're working on that right now, and we'll certainly let everybody know how to get involved with that. And the prizes will be good, I guarantee you. And it'll be a lot of fun with a lot of entertainment and a little bit of competition for all the audience members. We're also looking at a radio show now. There's a local artist who we are going to partner with and have some radio performances of a very special Christmas show that everybody is familiar with. We don't want to break the news quite on that yet.
Thank you. That's great. So have you found ways to keep your volunteers engaged?
We have. Go ahead, Jay.
All of our performers in Rocky Horror were tried and true Muskegon Civic Theatre volunteers. All of our actors and performers in our Fire Pit Follies were, again, some of our tried and true Muskegon Civic Theatre volunteers. Our volunteers will be participating in the downtown tree lighting ceremony that'll be happening via recording with Dave Alexander and Andy O'Reilly. So we're doing our best to keep our volunteers active. Our volunteers that work down at our scene shop have been putting in lots of hours down there, using this time, since we're not building sets for shows or putting things together down there. They've really done a really good job of getting that cleaned and updated and organized and gone through. You can bet that after all these years of just going from one show to the next, to the next, to the next, things kind of can get backed up and covered in layers of sawdust. So our volunteers working down there, they really have stepped up and kept themselves busy with getting that place in shape. So we're doing our best to keep our volunteers engaged with us. We're always looking to add people to our volunteer list. You know, our costume lady is still getting donations from our community of vintage clothing and things like that. So she's still going through those. Just because we're not performing, we're still staying as active as possible and, you know, putting people to work, getting people involved in community theater and keeping people engaged in Muskegon Civic Theater.
Great, thank you. Kirk, you have anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, I was going to say the scene shop, it's been amazing with the very small groups and with social distancing, what they've been able to do in there. I mean, organized to the point of, you know, each board is marked, each spare piece of lumber is marked with its length now. But we've also recovered a lot of things that have been tucked away behind stuff that has been piled up, and a lot of archival stuff. So it's really given us a chance to keep those people going in there and organizing and finding stuff that we knew we had, we just didn't know where it was. You know, it is a warehouse after all. It is a scene shop and a warehouse basically. And but we'd like to get more people busy. That's a little tough in these times, but we try and stay in touch with people, try and keep people informed, and we're also working on what we're going to do when we're coming back. When we come back, we are going to have definitely a welcome back season and a welcome back to all of our patrons, a welcome back to all of our volunteers, a welcome back to involve as many people in shows and everything we can do to do that, and especially to our students. And we're looking forward to our Penguin Project. Our Penguin Project, unfortunately had to go on hold. We're looking to do some items with them and our education program, hopefully in the spring here, and get them ready for a show next fall that will be just a wonderful experience for them and a wonderful experience for us.
Kirk, what the Penguin Project is, for people who might not be familiar with it?
The Penguin Project we partner. It's actually originally created by a national organization. Dr. Andy started this, and it is a theater for those with challenges. And so we partnered locally here with No More Sidelines, and we put on a full show in the Frauenthal that gives these young people a chance to act on the big stage. And we go through rehearsals and sets and everything. And it's truly a wonderful experience to be part of it, to be able to bring the joy to those families, the audience, and everyone else who gets involved with it. I'll tell you, we have volunteers, and it is every person who has seen it or been involved with it always wants to be involved with the next one. It's just truly a wonderful project that we do, and we spare no expense in doing it. And we thank all of those sponsors and companies who help us do that every year. And it's just truly an amazing project, and we're really sorry we didn't get to do it this past year.
It sounds like you've got a number of really exciting things brewing for when we are past the worst of COVID and we can start celebrating again with programs that you've done in the past, and some new things too that you've created out of necessity in this year. So that's great. Your board, you have a board of directors, and I imagine that they have also been very active during this time, helping you to problem solve and strategize for the future. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we do have a board of directors. We currently have 11 members on our board of directors. We have open seats for 4 additional people. So if anyone's interested in joining our board of directors at Muskegon Civic Theatre, we're always looking for interested parties. But they really have helped us since March. When we knew that things were going to start shutting down in the middle of March, we immediately started meeting with the board as to what our plan was going to be in closing the office down and then working from home. There was even a portion of time where we were completely laid off. There was just not anything for us to do. And then we were brought back at the beginning of June. And again, really to hit the ground running, our board really stepped up to help us get the word out about our Fire Pit Follies. They really have been behind us in getting us access to web content that we can look at. They helped us make sure that we were connected to corporate partners and sponsorships for the new materials that we were coming up with. And continue to do so, looking towards the year-end giving that we have coming up. That's really been the main focus of our board, is helping us come up with ways that we can engage sponsors and underwriters. Since we're not doing productions like we usually would, we don't have those regular opportunities available. So the board, again, like I said, they've stepped up really to help Kirk and I brainstorm and or get the word out about the new stuff that we're doing, as opposed to what we continually and regularly do at Muskegon Civic Theatre. So, the board has really been great to be working with us over these last few months, and really positive feedback as far as the work that we're doing here in the office as well.
So, COVID has put a lot of stress on a lot of businesses. obviously yours as well. Is there anything the community can do to help you?
Yeah, and I would say it's not just us, but us, specifically is attend and follow things that we have posted. It's not going to be your regular entertainment like you're used to coming to the Beardsley Theater or the Frauenthal Theater. And like I said, not just us, but the Howmet Playhouse or the Symphony or the museums or what have you. We all are coming up with new ways to be engaged with our community, whether it's our Fire Pit Follies we've done here, the virtual concerts that the Symphony has done, and the virtual offerings the Playhouse has done. We also have some virtual offerings available. We did a production of Neil Rosen's Silver Anniversary this summer in conjunction with the Community Foundation's Match Day. That is still available on our YouTube page. So if you just go to YouTube and you search Muskegon Civic Theater, you will find the link to our production of Silver Anniversary. So it's ways that we can still be engaged. And so our best advice is, obviously we're always looking for financial contributions, especially now since we're not doing in-person theater. We don't have tickets that we're selling. And we're doing a few things that, we like the Rocky Horror Show, there's a ticket price, but we don't have our regular ticket revenue coming in. So financial contributions on our website or sending a check, but definitely checking out what new and what out of the box thinking and out of the box events that all of our creative arts organizations are coming up with. The easiest way to do that is to follow Muskegon Civic Theater on Facebook or Instagram, or in larger picture, the Muskegon Area Arts Coalition, which includes the library systems, the Civic Theater, the Frauenthal, West Michigan Symphony, the Art Museum, the Lakeshore Museum Center, Howmet Playhouse, all of our great organizations. We have one conjoined Facebook page called the Muskegon Area Arts Community. So if you look for us on Facebook using that name, or if you follow any of our other organizations, we'll make sure you get there. But that Facebook page really will tell you everything that's going on with the arts here in Muskegon.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Well, any closing thoughts or comments, gentlemen?
I would just like to thank, all the members of Rotary for their past support and what they're doing, and to keep involved out there in the community, and to remember all those organizations that Jason mentioned, who are all nonprofits out there trying to make it through these tough times. I know times are tough all over, but we appreciate even the mention of us. Even if you want to get rid of something, check with us. We might want it. We might need it. But I appreciate that, and I want to thank you, Ed, for having us to chat here today.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I just want to add, we miss everyone. We miss our audiences. We miss our volunteers. We miss bringing entertainment and diverse stories to Muskegon. And the show will go on, and we will be back. So after everything is safe and we can gather again, Muskegon Civic Theater will be here, and we will be in the theaters bringing entertainment to Muskegon for many years to come.
Well, thank you for all you do to contribute to the quality of life in Muskegon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.